Right, so thank you very much for having me, Tim, and for having invited me here tonight. And I am very pleased because this is all connected. So all the organization that Tim set up, it's all about promoting a holistic approach to healthcare and natural health. And there is like an obvious link between healthcare and what we are going to talk about tonight, clutter. And I can see from the questionnaires, and it's totally normal, all the feelings which everybody can feel about clutter and how we feel when we live in a cluttered environment. So we will see this in the presentation. But when we try to free up ourselves from clutter is a form of self-care. When we decide to declutter, it's a form of self-care. We will feel better and we can improve our overall well-being by doing so. And so we are going to see exactly what's going on here. The presentation is very hands-on. I have like lots of pictures and examples, and I'm going to share with you the tips and the methods I use with my own clients. Very practical tips, and again I ask you on the questionnaire the areas or zones or things that you would like to tackle in terms of decluttering, so we will talk about this later. But today I really would like you to walk away with all the secrets and to a clutter-free existence, and which are going to help you to start and to begin your journey towards a tidier and happier you. So so feel free to interrupt me during the presentation if you have any questions. So as Tim said, we will have a Q&A session after the break. But if you have a question that you want to ask during the presentation, I am very flexible. Feel free to do so, that's fine. So I'm going to very briefly introduce myself. So I spent 15 years working in the market research industry, and then I decided to do something more meaningful. So I retrained as an interior designer and worked for IKEA in France in one of the stores for the interior design team of one of the stores. And this is where I developed these specific skills in terms of storage optimization. On the personal note, we moved and we lived as a family. We lived in 4 different countries. We moved house so many times, and each time we had to set up a new organization, some new systems in new house. And I realized that it was the best way, having these systems in place, it was the best way for us as a family to live a simpler life. And but I realized also that not everybody has the ability to do so, to organize a place. And so I realized that I had this ability, and so I decided, when we moved to London, I decided to work and to start working in this field, just to work especially in helping people to declutter and to organize their home and their life. So I set up my company Idea for Your Space in 2014, and I am part of the association in the UK, which is ABDO, the Association of Professional Declutterer and Organizer, and of the French-speaking association as well, the FFPO. So I've been doing that for 9 years now. I worked with many clients, and I can tell you I worked with hoarders, so there's no shame tonight. I worked with people who were very like we couldn't see any centimeter on the floor. So I think, and as Tim said, I think we all have clutter, even myself. And so it's just like this is the way it is, and we are going to see why. So the presentation, we will have 3 parts. So the first part, we are going to talk about the impact of clutter. How did we get there? And what is the impact on the physical space, obviously, when we have clutter, but not only on the physical space. So we will talk about that. The second step, I'm going to tell you the tips and the methods I use with my clients when we do a decluttering session. Where we start, how do we do it. It's just I'm going to really to give you all the tips. And the third part, which is how we can get more organized, I will share with you the 4 steps to be better organized, and I will share with you 2 examples. So when I did the presentation, I thought that we will talk about the hallway and the kitchen, but looking at the questionnaires, I scrapped the hallway, and we are going to talk about the kitchen and the wardrobe. So yes, so I have some slides about these, like wardrobe, clothes, how we can organize these things. So this is what we are going to talk about, and to see some examples about wardrobe organization. And we will have the Q&A. So your goals. So I've got your documents, and what I can see, so this is different areas all of you would like to work on. So adult bedroom a lot, kitchen, garage, living room. We have like a lot of information, and also what is really important, and it's going to introduce the next part, is the feelings about clutter we have in our home. So let's maybe see what's going on with the impact of clutter, and I'm going to use these documents later on. So how did we get there? So the thing with clutter is like when how does this one work? So things is we live in a consumerism world, and marketers do such a good job in making us think that we need the last iPhone, we need this little dress which is 50% off, and we are all tempted to buy a lot of things. And we are the problem, because when we buy things, if we have, it makes us feel very good. As soon as we buy something, we feel very happy, like this is great, I needed this blue dress, it's wonderful, I am super happy. And sometimes you can hear people say, oh, I am not feeling well, I am a little bit down right now, I'm going to go shopping. So this is a problem, and it has never been so easy to buy things, because we go online, we go on Amazon, the next day we have what we ordered for the previous day, it's already at home. So it's so easy now to buy, we don't have even to go shopping outside, we stay at home, go online, blah, 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 being done. And I've heard that Amazon, now they are testing some drone delivery, so it means we will have it in 30 minutes delivered to our place. So it's crazy. And so the problem, and also when we buy things, we feel good, we feel great. It boosts the dopamine hormone, which is the hormone of the pleasure, and so we feel great. But the problem, so this is the short term, we feel great the moment we buy things. And then this is what happens later on. This is a long-term situation. So compared to the short-term situation, we are very happy. The long-term situation is this sort of things. So we buy more and more things, and sometimes we may even experience some intense feelings of guilt, because we said, oh, this dress, I didn't need it in the end. And working with clients, it's not uncommon for me to find items with still the tag on the cloth, because okay, we bought it because maybe it was a good bargain, it was on sale, and we think, oh, I need this. Do I need that, or do I want that? So it's important to make the difference. And each time we go and we buy and we go shopping, it said, do I really need that item, or just because I want it? So it's very important to make sure that we think about when each time we buy something, but I think we are not to blame. I think it's because this is the way it is. So we need to work on that. And the impact of clutter, all this clutter after, it's just like there are so many negative impacts. So I like using this definition. What does it mean to declutter? When we declutter, we free up a lot of physical space, obviously. If we have less things, we will have more space. But this is only the physical part of the clutter. But when we declutter, we free up a lot of physical space, but also a lot of mental energy. Because there are like many other aspects of clutter and which are like hidden, insidious effects and which really impact our mood, our mind and well-being. And this is the questionnaire. When I read the information, like what are the feelings about you feeling like all the clutter? So I can see, I feel very sad. Anxiety. It brings like many arguments. I feel frustrated, angry, overwhelmed. Sinking feeling, shame. So I don't have the time. So all these negative feelings. So this is why it's important to know, and when because it's difficult for everyone, and just we need to address this situation to feel better. Because clutter is a big stress, is a big stressor. So and sometimes when we ask people to describe their cluttered environment, we can see they have a peak in the level of cortisol, which is the stress hormone, goes up. So even if you are not realizing that it impacts your stress level, it is, because so when we declutter, it will lower the stress. It will help also to improve our social life, because some people, I've heard people, they don't want to have people coming over or staying at their place because they are ashamed. They don't want people to see the situation of their place. So it's going to we can improve our social life. It will help to clear our mind as well, because chaos restricts the ability to focus and to process the information. It becomes more difficult to make decisions because the brain is foggy, and just even if it's unconscious, the brain will pick up everything in the room, even if we don't think about it. When we declutter, it will help the health as well, because if we have less stuff, it's going to be easier to vacuum. We will have less dust. We can sleep better if the bedroom is uncluttered. So there are like other impacts. And also, when everything is organized in our home, decluttered and organized, it helps to save some time. On average, we waste 10 minutes a day looking for misplaced items. So 10 minutes is not a lot, but if we add all these minutes over a lifetime, it's going to be 153 days. Just wasted because we are looking for items, we don't know where they are, we know we have them, but we don't know where. So it's all what we are going to talk about tonight. It's how we declutter and how we can organize things so we don't waste this time looking for misplaced items. So the second part is, okay, that's nice, I'd like to declutter, but how do we do that? So I have many clients, so the things are some mistakes to avoid. When we declutter, it's going to take time. Clutter didn't arrive in our home overnight, so we need to be well prepared of taking the time to declutter. Don't think it's going to be, oh, okay, I will declutter all the house in half a day. No, it won't happen. When I work with clients, when we work on decluttering and organizing a kitchen, usually it takes me like between 5 and 6 hours with the clients. So it takes time, so be ready, but again, you don't need to think, oh, I need like 3 weeks of holidays to declutter my whole house. You can pick a little project, decluttering, just by decluttering a drawer or a shelf, you are making progress. So if you don't have lots of time, but it's just like, think about it before you embark on this decluttering journey. It's very good to set up some goals as well. Why would you like to declutter? What is the final goal? Because it will help you to move forward and to reach this goal. So is it maybe because you have the spare bedroom, which is like a dumping ground, and said, oh, this spare bedroom, maybe I could turn this room like on a place where I could do all my art and craft instead of using the dining room table, because I need to pack everything every day at the end of the day. So if I declutter this spare bedroom and I use it as my art and craft area, it's going to be so much easier. So keep your goals in mind, maybe write these goals down and keep it on the fridge. Okay, I would like to declutter this room because I would like to turn the spare bedroom into my art area. And I know I will feel better if I have less clutter. So always have your goals in mind. To stay on track. It just like, again, this is not like super exciting, and someone put on the document says, I would prefer doing something else. I would prefer do some gardening or to go out for a walk instead of being in my place and doing like this decluttering. So to be able to stay on track, make sure you keep track on the time. If you have maybe 3 hours or maybe to spare on this, just make sure you set up your timer, and make sure you turn off your notification from your phone, because as soon as you get bing, a tickling, okay, I'm going to check my phone, okay, this decluttering project, it will last, I will do it later on. I prefer being on my phone and just, oh, this is a friend, she wants me to come to her place to have a coffee, great, okay. It means it's so easier, because we don't want to do this type of project. It's quite drowning, so it just like make sure you stay on track, and then you can move on with your project. And this is very important. Before you start any decluttering project, make sure you take a picture, because you won't remember how it was at the start. You will be so proud of the results. And I have clients sometimes said, oh, I would like to share with my friends and family all the before and after picture. It's so nice, and it helps as well to keep the before picture as a reminder, saying, oh, I don't want to go back to this situation again, so I'm going to keep going and to make sure that everything is organized, because I don't want to have this clutter back again. So it's very important and very rewarding to remember the before picture. So where do we start? So you have two options. So you can work either by area or by category. So I don't know if you have heard about Marie Kondo. So this is like the specialist, the Japanese worldwide consultant. Yes, so she's like, she works by category. So she works on 5 categories, which are like, she starts with the clothes, the books, papers, komono, which are miscellaneous items, and sentimental items. So what she recommends is to have all the category. You gather everything in one room. So if you work on the books, for instance, you gather all your books from your home in one place, and you go through your books. It's
enough space.
Yeah, you need space and you need time as well. And so I usually work area by area, because it means you can have very small project. As I said earlier, you can work on just a shelf, just a drawer. And it's also very rewarding. So I always recommend to start with a small area. So, because as I said, it's going to be sometimes quite overwhelming. You don't know exactly what to do. So if you start with just a drawer or maybe the shoe cabinets in the hallway. It's going to be smaller project. You will see the results quicker. It's going to be really rewarding. And you will be able to refine the way you did it. So it's always good to start with something small. And you can also start with an area which really gets on your nerves. So if each time you go through your front door and you can see all the shoes scattered in the hallway because you have a shoe cabinet, but the shoe cabinet is full of shoes maybe you haven't worn for like months, years maybe. So maybe this could be a good project, because each time if you tackle this shoe cabinet, declutter this shoe cabinet, and so you have space to put your shoes instead of being in the hallway, to be behind the doors in this shoe cabinet. Next time you come back to your place, it's going to be so different. It's going to be much more welcoming, because it's
with the shoe cabinet,
yeah,
which I think is an excellent idea, and I would really like that. How do you get everyone else to put their shoes in it?
So yes, so
4 shelves. We have a shelf each. We've got 3 pairs of. Everyone can have 3 pairs of shoes.
right.
On the shelf. But I come home to a sea of shoes.
Yeah, sometimes. So I don't know at the age of the people you are talking about, but so sometimes I have 3 kids, and I can tell you it's exactly the same in my home house. So sometimes it's too difficult, just to open the doors, to put things on the shelves. Right, so
I've got an open shelf.
a basket, sometimes it's much better. You have a basket, you throw the shoes into the baskets. It's just open storage, because sometimes it's too complicated for some people just to put on the shelf, even if it's an open storage. So, but if you have just a basket, okay, you take off your shoes, you throw them in the basket. It's like with the little children. It's just when I do like talks for young moms, when we talk about storage, open storage is the best, because you don't have to take the lid off and just you throw everything in the basket, that's it. So
They're just scrabbling through the basket looking for the shoe that matches this shoe.
And then they probably leave them all lying over the
so it's good to have
mountain of shoes everywhere.
one basket for each person. So I said at least this is their problem. If they can't match a pair of shoes, this is not your problem. This is their problem. But yes, open storage are always the same, the best. Yeah.
Is there a sort of minimum? I was the one who sort of sooner be doing something else you spoke about me just then. I'd sooner be out walking or doing something, but so I just sort of leave it and go out.
Yeah.
But is there a sort of minimum time? Could you allocate half an hour, 10 minutes? Or
Yeah, I think everything. Yeah, I think if you want to deal with a larger project, you need to make sure, if you want to declutter the kitchen or like the garage or something, you need to make sure you have like a good amount of time, because if you do, usually when I work with clients, I said, okay, we need at least 3 hours to do something which is going to be relevant and to make really a dent into the situation. But as I said, if you have a drawer in your kitchen, we all have like a drawer where you put everything, you don't know where to put the things, you put in these catch-all drawers. So if you want to work on this drawer, and that's fine. If you have 10 minutes one day, maybe to tackle one shelf in the living room because you have like books on this shelf, or even on the big bookcase, you can do it shelf by shelf and said, okay, I'm going to spend 10 minutes today on this shelf, and it's going to make you are going to make some progress. So I think it's better to tackle and to use the time you have and to say, okay, I'm going to do 10 minutes, half an hour, and then, because sometimes we never find the time to have like 3 hours or 5 hours in front of us. So better to do it like slowly but surely. So, and I would recommend as well, don't start with sentimental items. Because the problem with when we declutter is the attachment to the things. And I have someone who told me that, and this is so difficult. And so I would recommend, I think it's good to start with the kitchen, because we don't have so much sentimental attachment with a cheap mug, a scratch pan, or like a gadget. We all buy gadgets for the kitchen, and you realize that you never use these gadgets. So this is quite easy, because it's not like clothes can be difficult, books can be difficult to declutter, photos extremely difficult. So if you want to start, and if you want to get the ability and to get into the process of doing this project, kitchen is good to start with. And the thing is, be confident in yourself. And again, we are not aiming for perfection. Better is the goal. So if you just have 10 minutes to spare to this project, that's fine. Just small step, baby step, but still moving forward. So, how do we do this? So, once you have chosen the area you would like to work on, so let's say we are going to work in the kitchen. We are going to start with one specific cabinet. The first thing to do is to take everything out. So it's a good opportunity to give like all the space a good clean as well. So make sure you have like handy like some wipes, vacuum cleaner, etc. Because again, this can be a source of distraction. So make sure you gather all your supply that you will need to when you do your decluttering. Because if you said, oh, I need to get the vacuum, it's a good time to leave the space and said, oh, while I am out, I can maybe check my email, and this project is postponed again. So make sure you have everything with you before you start, so it will avoid some distraction, and to leave the space and said, okay, I've got a good reason to move. So we take everything out. So you can put everything on the floor, on the table, everywhere. So, and then we will have to assess every single item. It's going to be the good time. We will have to make a decision for each single item. What do we do with this item? So you need to ask some question and to answer very honestly. So I have some question. Is it in good condition? Have I used this item in the past year? Do I need to keep it for legacy, add value to my life? Does it deserve to take up some space? Do I like it? Is it beautiful? Does it spark joy? So again, Marie Kondo uses this question. So does it spark joy? That's great. Do we have pleasure having this item? But I prefer using this quote, which is from William Morris. Have nothing in your house that you don't know to be useful or believe to be beautiful. I think these two dimensions should help you to make the decision about what to keep and what to get rid of. If it isn't something you use or something that makes you feel good, it's just taking up some space, so let it go. It's just like, because sometimes we need to assess, is it useful? Because a toilet brush or a pan, I don't think it's going to spark joy, but this is useful, so we need to keep these items. So you will have to decide on each item you removed from the cabinet, and then to create some piles. So we will have like the piles of the things. This is an item I would like to keep. This is something I can donate, recycle, throw away, sell, put in another room, and you can have a maybe pile as well. So, but be careful about the sell pile, because we all think, oh, I paid so much money for this item, I'm going to try to sell it. Okay, so it's going to take like at least 3 more months until you get to the point you are going to put it somewhere you are going to list the item on, you even don't know where you are going to list the item online. So, and then it's going to stay in your home. So sometimes it's just charity shops also need very good stuff. So sometimes if it doesn't worth it just to get like maybe £5 for an item, you are going to advertise it, answer all the questions, make sure you are available when the person is going to come to pick it up. So sometimes just, okay, the money is used, it's better to give it to the charity shop than to try to sell an item. And so the maybe pile, so because you can be undecided, so make sure the maybe pile is not the pile which is going to grow up like too much, because it won't be very useful. But you can reassess the maybe pile later on. Maybe when you are done with everything, you can go through the pile again and say, okay, during this session I found maybe 3 or 4 or 5 corkscrews, so I don't need so many, so I can maybe get rid of some of them. And the thing is very important as well, it's to take the things you would like to donate or to take to the charity shop or maybe to take to a friend. Take these things out as soon as possible, because if they are still in your home, they are still in your mind, this is still a weight in your shoulders. And so as soon as you can, even if you can't drive to the charity shop or to the recycling center immediately, if you can make sure that these items are in your car, so next time you drive past the charity shop, you can drop everything, but at least it's out of your home. And yes, I didn't speak when I forgot to tell about the piles. So these photos, you've got like containers, but you don't need any containers to make piles. You can just make piles on the floor. Make sure they are well identified. So with a post-it note or something, you can just use a strong plastic bag for the things to take to the charity shop. So it's going to be easier to put everything in your car. So this is very quite straightforward process. So the last part is, okay, we did all this decluttering. Clutter has been removed, hopefully. So the next step is going to be to put some organization system in place, because if we want to stay clutter-free on a long-term basis, we need to have some organization system in place. So this is what we are going to talk about now. So what does it mean to be, when we say, what does it mean to be organized? So this is exactly the difference between these two pictures. So this is a messy situation. If I ask you to locate in this picture the blue water can, is going to be more, it's going to take more time than in this picture. So this is what we are going to do when we organize things. We are going to create some categories, and in no time, in a fraction of a second, in this picture you can locate the blue watering can. So this is exactly what is organizing is about. So there are 4 steps. So the first 2 steps are really the basics of organization. So the first one is we will group like with like. It means we are going to make categories. And when we create these categories, it means we will put the items which belong to the same category together, or that you use together. So it might be obvious, but I can tell you this is not obvious at all. Sometimes when I work with clients, once I found 8 packets of rice, exactly the same packets, 5 of them were open because they were in different locations in the kitchen. Same with baby food. Once the lady said, oh, I keep buying baby food because I don't know what's going on with the baby food. And we've thrown away so many items because they were the date was passed, and just because it wasn't grouped together. So when it's good to have like all your pots and pans together, all your tools together, all your baking products together, your sewing kit, and then you can subcategorize. So if you have one drawer for your socks, you can have one compartment or one area with the everyday socks and another one for the sport socks. So it's just like, it's going to make your life so much easier because we know where everything is. And in the kitchen, if you know that you need to access and so some like flour or sugar, you know that they will all be together. You don't need to go in different areas to make sure you need to find what you are looking for. Same with the tools. If you have your toolbox, all the tools are in one place, all the light bulbs, all the batteries, all together, it's going to be so much easier because it means you go to just one place to find something instead of going everywhere in the house. So the first thing is like creating these categories. The second step, which is also, I would say, compulsory when you want to organize your place, it's to find a place for everything. Usually, most of our clutter results from two things. We have too many items in our home, or all the items don't have a specific place. So this is the problem. And if you need to remember something from this presentation, this is a place for everything and everything in its place. We need to have a place for everything, because if I have like a hammer in my hand, said, oh, where shall I put the hammer to make sure I don't know, I don't have any place, okay, I'm going to put this one under the staircase, right. So, and then next time said, oh, where did I put the hammer? I don't even remember. This is like, well, you need to think about the place and to think about a logical place as well. It means where you are going to use this item. Because if you put, for instance, if your coats very far away, you go through the front door, but you have to go at the back of the house, maybe in the laundry room. This is where you are going to put your coat. Chances are great that the coat will never reach that place because it's too far away from the entrance. So it's going to end up maybe on a chair, on the counter. So this is where it's very important when we think about where we are going to store things. It means you need to think about logic, a logical place. So if I go back to the kitchen, for instance, if we think about crockery should live next to the table or next to the dishwasher, because it's going to be easier to put everything back in the place, either next to the place where you are going to use them. And you need to think about the accessibility as well. If this is a thing you don't use very often, they can live on the higher shelf or in the corner cabinet, or maybe somewhere else in the house, because you know that you don't need to, this item doesn't need to be very accessible on a regular basis. So each time you decide on a place where you are going to keep things, think about where it's going to be logical to keep this item. And in this kitchen at a client's, we save these two cabinets in the kitchen to store the puzzles and some board games for the kids, because this is an open plan kitchen. So the family, they want to have like a few games in the kitchen, because when the parents are preparing the dinner, they want to have the kids around them. So this is why we dedicated two of these kitchen cabinets for board games, puzzles, so the kids can have their things. And again, we put things away very easily as well. In another situation, like same, the kids do their homework on the kitchen table, so we made sure that they had like a little caddy they could take from the kitchen cabinet to the table, so everything stays in this area, so they don't need to bring everything back into the bedroom or the living room or in the office, because if the place where we are going to store items is too far away, it will never return to this place. So we are going to have like place of clutter. And the best habit to cultivate is don't put things down, put them away where they belong, because it's going to be so much easier next time you need something. If you know you've got a place for this item, make sure you put everything where it belongs, because it's going to, again, we spoke about the time we waste looking for items. If the things return to their place, it's going to be so much easier. So the third step when we want to be organized, so this is not always it's not always a necessity, but we can use containers. It's going to be very helpful, and when we use containers, it means each category stay together. And if you see on the left hand side of the screen, these kitchen cabinets where the food is stored, they are very deep, so most of the items at the back, we don't know what it was, like never used. So and you can see as well the top part here, this is totally unused, this space. So we decided to use these clear containers, so we have each category in one plastic box, and we have one for the snacks, one for the biscuits, one for the grains. So it means when you need something, you just pull out the box, you put it on the countertop, you take everything you need, and you put everything back. It means that you take everything in one go. You can see exactly what you have. We use the space much better because everything is contained in a box. It's like having a drawer, really, just like it's a pull-out system. It's so much easier, and everything stays in the compartments. Same goes like with underwear. When you store your clothes in like big drawers, they are going to be all mixed up. So using like some drawer dividers this is very good as well. This is an example with Legos, and some people like decanting their dry food. Some said, oh, this is a waste of time, a waste of money. It's just up to you. Some people think, okay, this is much neater. I have the same containers, so I like doing that. So it's very personal. It's just like I think it's important to feel what is going to work for you. So, and we don't need to buy things. Containers, we might have containers at home already. So for this little tray, I used a lid from a shoebox, which I used as a tray for like the pens. It's in the drawer under a table for a little boy. So again, we used in this bathroom drawer, we used some cookies box and perfume boxes just to be used as container. These ones are the ones which are used in this drawer. So you don't need to buy things. You just maybe grab a few things you already have at home. And same for this, to all the umbrellas, we use this. This is a utensil holder, which was initially in the kitchen, and we decided to use it in the hallway as a container to contain all the umbrellas. But so we reused these items. So, and the first, when you decide to get organized, don't buy the containers before starting decluttering. It comes at the end. Make sure you declutter first, you create your categories, you measure exactly where it's going to be to make sure you have the right container, and then you can do this system. But it's very important to declutter and to think about the categories to see what kind of box or basket you need. And again, yes, you can use any type of boxes. The fourth step is to label. So it's especially for larger households, and it's going to be so much easier. And because even my son the other day said, oh, where is, I don't know what he was looking for, something for his bike. He said, oh, where is, I don't know, the helmet or something. So, okay, in the garage, there is a shelf, there is a box which is like, this is written, there is a label which says bicycle equipment or something like that. You can get it yourself. So it means if you are the one who are going to put the system in place, if everything is clearly labeled, hopefully the other person in your household should be able to find what they need and to put everything back again. Because if you have like the laundry products on that side, I think you hesitate just to put the laundry products in the baby wipes. So when everything is labeled, it means that people are more encouraged to put things in the right place. It's less tempting that you said, oh, I don't know where to put this, I put it anywhere. When you have a label, at least you know where to put things back. Yes, for the shoes that we printed, because these shoe boxes you can't see through, so we took some pictures and we printed this the picture of the shoes which stuck on the boxes. And again, if we when I work with children, and I make sure they are involved in the organization process. So this little guy, he wrote the label. He was so happy and so proud to be able to write the label. Lego only, and he underlined only several times. So he said, this is okay, it's going to stay like that. So, yes, so these are the 4 steps. So creating the category, grouping like with like, having these categories, and then to find a specific place for everything are the most important one. And then the 2 other ones, when we contain and label, it's not always necessary. So what do we need to remember? When we declutter, it's important to keep your final goal in mind. It will help you to stay focused and to reach this goal. And only keep items that you like or use. Make sure that you are asking yourself this question, and just to see, and if it's too difficult to think about what shall I get rid of, think about what you would like to keep. It might be easier, so this is the things I really want to keep, and to concentrate on these things. And in terms of when we organize, we need to think about accessibility. So where I am going to put the things when I want to choose like a specific location. And very important, to think about a logical place. It's the most important thing. We need to think it can't be a random place. It needs to be somewhere where it's going to be logical. And be creative. When you create your label, you can use like many sticky labels. You can use a label maker. You can write on the things. It's just like you need to think about something which is going to be very nice, very appealing for you, and to make sure you are, because if the organization system if it's nice, it's going to be used more often. So we are going to come into the examples. So this is the kitchen. So I'm going to concentrate on the kitchen here. Because in the kitchen, so breakfast, lunch, dinner, homework, family time, a lot happens in the kitchen. It's easily one of the busiest rooms in your home. And this is really a room where you are going to, even it's like working in the factory. It's like you work in the kitchen. You need to be aware of your stocks. So this room needs to be super organized. If not, you are going to waste some time. So what are we going to think about? So it's important to declutter. When you declutter in the kitchen, check the dates, duplicates. How many corkscrew do you have? Cheap crockery. It's easy to get rid of them. Never used items. When you group like with like, all the breakfast category can be together, all the seasoning, baby food. If you have one area where you are going to prepare the coffee, for instance, make sure you have your mugs next to the coffee station, everything you need to make a nice cup of coffee. If you can have everything next to each other, it's going to be easier. Location, so yes, most often used items should be at easy reach, so arm reach. Make sure that everything which is quite heavy, it's going to be at a lower level, not too high, because it's going to be more difficult and you can hurt yourself if it's too high when it's like something you are not using on a regular basis. Everything, yes, pots and pans next to the hob. It doesn't make really any sense to have everything on the other side of the kitchen. Seasoning, good to have next to the hob as well. And on the worktop, you need to be very minimalist. It's a space you are going to use to prepare your food, and it's going to be much easier to clean if you don't have too many items. If you have like maybe one item you use once every month, it doesn't need to live on the worktop. Make sure you find a place for it, and it's going to be nicer to be able to work on a clear worktop. It's great to have somewhere where you can have and jot down the things you need to buy, because when you have, for instance, if you take these look at, you are finishing, maybe soon finishing the flour, make sure you have somewhere where you are going to put, you need to buy some flour at the next trip to the grocery store, because it's so much easier as soon as you realize that you will need some more of one category of item, just put it down. At least it's not in your head anymore. And if you do other extra activities in the kitchen, make sure you keep everything in this room. So some examples here. So yes, it's quite tempting. It's very trendy now to have like things on display on shelves. So, but it's going to be dusty in the kitchen. It can be very greasy. So make sure you don't have too much on display, because it's going to be harder to clean, and it can look very messy as well if we have too many items on display. So what is nice as well is just to have maybe one box where you have like everything is contained on the worktop. So if you need more space on the worktop, you can just move the box somewhere else, and it's going to be easier to clean the area as well. So these are other examples. So if you want to have like, if you are, when I said be creative, like this way to organize the mugs are very nice. It's like a decoration in itself. You can hang your mugs like this, and this is really nice. You can have also some containers in your fridge. Again, it's a good way just to take everything. You can have all your sauce, for instance, or condiments in one basket, and you take it to the table. So it's just like creating some, having some nice features. So again, this is another time we have like this crate with the pencils. So again, because it's going to be used on the kitchen table for the drawings, etc., it's good to keep this box somewhere in the kitchen. And if you can have a space as well, this is another way to keep track on what needs to be bought at the grocery shopping. You can use like some chalkboard paint, and to have a place where you can write on the wall what you need to buy from the grocery shopping. So the bedroom. Again, this is, if you want to have a nice rest, it's very important to make sure the bedroom is not too cluttered with. So I know sometimes we need, this is a space where you are going to maybe to iron. So make sure or maybe this is an area where you are going to have a desk, maybe to do some work. So make sure you tidy up everything, and if you can hide away like the baskets of clothes which needs to be ironed. It needs to be a restful environment. So it's important that the wardrobe is going to stay with less distraction. So the less distractions, the better. Minimum things on display. And the clothes storage capacity, it will, if you have like a small wardrobe, it means if you have too many clothes, it won't fit. So you need to find a way to have like other type of storage, so maybe to have the out of season clothes somewhere else, or maybe to use under the bed as an extra area where to put things. We need to think about smart storage, so we can see on the next things. So again, so these are the things when we go back to the piles. So these are the piles you are going to do with when you declutter your wardrobe. So what's the one pile for the things which needs to be kept, the items to sell, to donate. Some can go maybe into the bin because they are too. I worked with a client today and she had like things which were totally ruined. All these items. I am not here to tell you you should get rid of everything. That's fine if it's something which makes you happy, and because this is a nice memory, that's good to be kept, but maybe not in the main wardrobe, but maybe somewhere on a higher shelf. And the maybe pile. Again, if you are unsure about some items, maybe some items you need to try on to make sure this is the right size. This can be in the maybe pile. And these are the questions you need to answer honestly when you need to decide what to do with these items. Are you flattered by the cut and the fabric and the color? Is it comfortable? Does it fit right now? And because I have clients said, okay, I'm planning to lose some weight. Okay, that's good. That's great. How long? Yes, I've been trying to lose this weight for like 8 years. Okay, right. So test change. This is not the styles change as well. And if you manage to lose the weight you would like to lose, the first thing you would like to do is to go shopping, because you want to look great in new clothes. And so I think sometimes it's good to keep like a few items, but it's not necessary to keep like 5 pairs of jeans and some too many items. And again, it's going to look when you will see these items, say, oh, I need to lose weight just to be able to get into these jeans. It's going to send you a very negative feeling as well, because you have been meaning to lose this weight for 8 years, you haven't done any progress yet, this is really bad. So if you have like these items, you can keep them somewhere else, but not like a reminder every single day that you are going to feel bad about this situation. And is it really my style? Is it my current lifestyle as well? Because we might like, when I was working in the corporate industry, I was wearing like more like dresses, and now I wear jeans every single day. So all these more like I dress more casual now that I used to be. So all these items like very smart trousers, dresses, okay, this is done. This is like, for me, it was like a long time ago. So this is the kind of stuff, okay, I don't need to, I won't wear these sort of items anymore, so someone else is going to probably to be able to use these. Does it go with at least 3 other things in your wardrobe? Because sometimes we have one single item, it goes with nothing else in the wardrobe. So how are you going to wear this item? With what? So it means you need to make sure that you can mix and match and have like items you can put together. Have you worn it in the past 2 years? So this is, and how many occasions will you have to wear it again? If you have a dress, maybe a very smart dress, you worn it for like a wedding, something like that, will you have another occasion to wear that dress? Maybe not. So we need to be really realistic of what we are going to do and what are the plans to make sure that we only keep the things which are going to be used again. So in the wardrobe, it's very important to make sure we use the space very well. So in this wardrobe at a client, so we can have like longer areas for longer clothes. Make sure you use, if at the bottom on the shelf, if you can fit maybe a few boxes like this under the cardigans to fit more things. Again, we tried here in this wardrobe to make sure we could use the whole space according to what we had to store. But every area is used, even, yes, everywhere on the shelf under the shorter items. It's very important. So, yes, the accessories for the wardrobe. That's good to have similar hangers. Again, sometimes it looks much neater instead of having like different type of hangers. And the very thin ones, the velvety, like the velvet ones, are very good because they are quite thin. And they are not slippery, so it means that everything stays well on the hangers, and they are so thin you can fit much more clothes than if you use like wooden hangers. So this is like something, if you need to put more things in the wardrobe, think about what type of hangers you are using. So we talked about the dividers for the drawers. It's very important to use dividers when you have large drawers. So in this top image here, so we have like this little box, and we folded the t-shirts vertically. So I don't have any, I can use here my jumper, but if you use items that you are going to fold in a drawer, because if you have in the drawer, if you put your jumper or anything else, but if you put them like this, so, and you pile them up, it means in a drawer you are going to see the one at the top. So when you put your t-shirt or anything in a drawer, it's much better to fold everything like vertically. So you have everything, let's say this is a box, and you are going to put things like this in the box, exactly the way we did it in this top drawer here. So everything is folded vertically, so it means when you need someone, you see everything, instead of seeing just one item. If I had this pile of t-shirts like that, I would only see the top one, so you see everything, and when you remove one, it's very easy to keep everything nice and tidy in the box. So this is a good reminder, and I think I have, yes. So these are the tips when you think about how are you going to organize the wardrobe. So again, they need to be organized by category. So when you hang your clothes, it's good to have like all the trousers, tops, short sleeves. We can have like short sleeve tops, long sleeve. Everything is categorized, so when you need something, you go to just one section. It's important to use the vertical space, and you can have two rails. If you have like tops, for instance, you can have like most of the time you can have two rails on the top of each other, and to make sure you use the whole the vertical space. If you have like, because sometimes you can't have two rails, so if you have one rail and then you can see the bottom of the wardrobe is unused, so you can always fit maybe some little shelves. This is something I do very often with my clients. We can fit like a little shelves at the bottom of the wardrobe because it's a dead space, and then you can store more things, or even have to have some drawers at the bottom of the wardrobe. So it means we use all the space. So shelves are good for folded items. Jeans are very good on shelves because they are quite thick. Jumpers are good are great on the shelves. T-shirts. So everything which is folded, when it's on the shelf, having things folded, it means you see everything from the front. Everything which can crease easily will be better on hangers, like light fabrics or heavy jumper, because they are going to take so much space, or cardigans are better on the hanger as well. Drawers are good for small items, and when, again, use dividers, use baskets, use boxes to make sure you can divide these drawers in a smaller space. You can use pegs and hooks as well to hang accessories. We will see some pictures later on. So for the shoes, as I said, cubbies, racks, boxes directly on the floor, and then you can put all the shoes easily in these boxes. You can put things if you can't keep everything in your wardrobe, and you have like maybe a top shelf, you can use the top shelf for the out of season clothes. So make sure you keep everything in a transparent box. Make sure again you have a label, or maybe your ski clothes or anything you don't use very often can be on a higher shelf, clearly labeled. And yes, and we are going to see some example for smart storage, so dividers, scarf holders, etc. And it's good to have a good light as well inside the wardrobe, because if you can't see anything, it's not nice, and it's difficult to find something. So now you can just have a strip lights. You can get these ones very easily from anywhere. You have double-sided tapes. You can tape the strip for the light in under a shelf, and you plug it in like it's going to be charged, and then you don't need to connect it to a plug or anything. This is super easy. So for the tie, so you can have things you can pull out from the side of the wardrobe, and there are like little hooks to keep the ties on a specific area. Always good to use like small baskets. So we used these baskets for swimwear with this client again. For the shoe boxes, if you can't see through, make sure you have the information on the side of the box. I print these boxes myself. I take a picture with my phone. I have a basic printer, and I put the sticky labels directly in the printer, and I can print directly the labels, so to be put on the side. And these are for the handbags. If you keep your handbags into the dust bag, you can't see through, and so it means you can have again this label on the side to make sure you know what's inside each cover. So off-season clothing, so this can be out of the, even of the bedroom. If you want, if you don't have the space, it can be stored away, maybe in the loft or somewhere else, in a clear container. You can use like an old trunks as well if you want to put more things like duvet or duvet covers, or everything can be used like as a storage. Under the bed is a good spot as well, where you can put like, again, from in a clear boxes, and you can have boxes you can pull out their small wheels underneath, so it's good to put items under the bed if you don't have anywhere else to put them. And if you don't have the space even to have a wardrobe with doors, you can just have a curtain, and it means you will save space if you don't have the space for like normal doors. And we spoke about the hangers. It's nice to have like matching hangers, and it's very important to purge regularly. If you can have this rule: if I buy something from the shop, I need to take something out. Buy one, or one in, one out, or maybe two out or three out. So it's even better. But it's important to stick to this rule, because we don't have like extensive space most of the time. And if you don't, a good trick as well for the hangers, if you take everything out from the wardrobe, you declutter, you put everything back, and you can swap the side of the hanger. So if usually the hangers is hang this way, you can hang it this way, and then it's 6 months time. And when you take something from hanger, because you are going to wear this item, you turn the hanger and it's going to be on the other side. But 6 months later, if you still have like many, or 1 year later, many hangers which are still facing the way you put it, like it's maybe it can be a sign that, oh, I haven't worn this item like for at least a year. It can be a trick as well to make sure to see exactly what you have worn over a year or 6 months, and it can be a sign that something can be decluttered. Right, so I think this is words for the end. The wise words from Sri Radema, which to live in a peaceful home is to experience paradise on earth. So now it's your turn, so maybe we can have the break, and I can answer the questions. I saw that many people mention the paperwork, the papers, which are like nightmare. Yes, so yes, papers, like, yes, you need to check on HMRC what are the legal amount of time you need to keep things, but it's a good
6 years, 8 years.
Yes, most of the time it's 8 years. Yeah, so everything else can be shredded and got rid of. So it means, and everything you don't need to have access to, again, can be stored in a plastic box out of the space. And a good thing to have, to keep everything handy for the paperwork, is to have like hanging files. It works quite well because it's very easy vertical storage. It means this is so much easier to grab what you need in a vertical space instead of piling paper, because if we pile paper like this and the one at the bottom, you will forget about it. But if it's everything is stored again vertically, either in a hanging file, or even I like using for paperwork the what's this called?
Filing cabinets?
Yes, filing cabinets for the hanging files, but for the ones for the you know, these like little boxes where magazine boxes, magazine racks. So they are like, these are good to keep your paperwork as well, because you can label, you can subdivide the documents, having them in clear plastic pouch, and then to add them in the magazine holder. So this can be good as well, but yeah. So paperwork is nightmare for many people, but yes, I can answer the questions about this maybe after the break. And so I don't have any business card with me, so this is my details. If you have any questions, maybe later on, or if you have something you said, oh, I have an issue with this particular area, take a picture, you can send me a picture, we can have a discussion just over the phone, I can direct you and to give you some ideas on how you could solve this issue. Feel free to send me, to drop me an email and with a picture, and I will be more than happy to help in any way, just, yeah.
To answer your question.
Okay.
The first question. I get quite a few presents, nice, but they're often not things I really need. So one of them recently was like a slow cooker, which is quite a big item. I've limited space in the kitchen. It's a biggish kitchen, but it's all plates and windows, so there's not many cupboards and so I've got this sort of big slow cooker and spiralizer and something else and something else. And really, I don't use them, but I'm sort of almost frightened with my sister hanging up and saying, oh, that slow cooker, here, isn't it? You know, I'd be frightened to say no after all.
You get it out when she comes round.
Unfortunately, she doesn't, but I don't want to throw it away. I can't really put it anywhere else.
Yes, this is quite a difficult situation, because when we are gifted something, it's very hard to, because if we don't need it, like it's exactly in your case, or maybe this is not something we like. So we come back to the 2 points I mentioned earlier. This is not something useful and something which is not beautiful for us. So I think it's always good to when we can. So it's difficult in your situation, because if your sister comes around and just, oh, where is the slow cooker? Why you didn't use the slow cooker to prepare something? But sometimes it's better to give it to someone else who is going to use these items, and it won't change the love and the relationship with the friend or the family member who gave it to you. But if it's something which is going to stay in the box and to take some space, and you know that you will never use it, maybe just like to re-gift it to someone. You know that if you have like a niece or like someone else, you will be able to use these sort of things. But like with presents, your sister won't love you less if you said, okay, sorry, but I won't use this item, if maybe someone else might use it. It's difficult, but you can give yourself the permission, so to re-gift, or to maybe to take to the charity shop something which has been gifted, and you know that it's not your style, it's not your taste, and you will never use this. But yes, it's like keeping things from a deceased person. You said, okay, if you will keep the memory of the person without keeping the stuff you have inherited from your parents or your close friends. So it's not about the thing itself. You can take a picture but you can give the item itself to someone else to make sure it's going to be used by someone, and because there's no point keeping.
Ask the person before if he wants it. I mean, it's a slow cooker, and when the sister said, oh, I use mine all the time.
Yeah, but again, it's a
big item, it's hard to wash up.
Yes, maybe just tell her, oh, you tried to use it and it didn't work so well for you because you have other way to to prepare food, and it takes up so much space, and it's difficult to use. So tell her that you try to use it several times, and it doesn't work well for you. So maybe it's time. Maybe she might know someone who can use it. Someone in your family, because it's a shame. It's a nice thing, and your sister uses it. So, but we cook all differently, and some people, and this is with the kitchen, we buy, sometimes we can be tempted to buy some items like that, like the bread maker, like many, like, and we realize this is just a gadget for us. And but again, I do my own yogurt, so I use my yogurt machine very often, but I think someone else can do, oh, this is disgusting, they don't like to do that. So we are all different. So I think, but don't be afraid of telling her, oh yes, we can regift something which we will never use or like.
A friend of mine's got, the son gave her like the latest cappuccino coffee maker, which sits about this big on the countertop. You never use it, but they're afraid that if he gravitates to the garage somewhere, that he's going to be upset about it. So he sits and stares at it.
Yes, sometimes it's better to have the discussion, because if you put these things away anyway, you won't use it because it's taking so much space in your kitchen. You don't have the space, you won't use it, so you will end up like having it maybe in the garage or somewhere else. The result is the same. You won't use it. When she comes, next time she comes, she won't see the slow cooker. She will ask you about the slow cooker. It's better to have the discussion and to make sure that someone else is going to use the item instead of keeping it in the box in somewhere for nothing.
On the last big storm bridge, where it ripped a lot of garage roofs off, and when they looked down on sort of, sky view, they found that there wasn't one car in any of these garages. It was just full of people's stuff.
Well, also, the cars are too big for the garages now.
Yeah.
They've got them too big now for the garages.
No, but this is in the United States, this is like, I read like some documents and some researches, like all have like a garage for 2 or 3 cars, and the cars are out on the streets because the garage are full and full to burst, and there's no space. I have this book, like it was like from a research about in the States and in California, but it's, wow, that's so scary. And just like...
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I have a bohemian lady friend who lives a very minimalistic lifestyle. I mean, her place is quite literally stark. If a magazine's left for about 2 seconds, it disappears. She quite literally in her kitchen has got 2 knives, 2 forks, and that's about it. I mean, quite literally, if you've eaten something and have half an hour, so you've got to go and wash something up before you can use it again.
Yeah.
So, is there a minimum level which you would say you go down to? It becomes ridiculous.
I think it's
frankly, for me as a clutterer, it's very uncomfortable there.
Yeah, but I think we are all, and for some people, having like a magazine rack full of stuff, and it's going to be like, oh, this is awful, I can't keep it. And some people, it's like it's their comfort zone. They need to have this. So I think there's no good and bad situation. It's the space you have and how you feel about the stuff. If you feel bad because you say, oh, I've got too many like t-shirts or jeans or magazines, okay, you need to act, but it's fine. I have clients, they've got like massive house, they've got the space, they've got the money, they can have maybe 50 or 60 bras, or that's fine if you have the space and it's not a weight on your shoulders and on your mind. This is exactly, we are all different. And again, some people, they will need to have like nothing in their place, and some people, they need, it's like also, it's like our comfort as well, like it's like a blanket around us, all the stuff we have at home. So some people, they need more, and some they need less. So there's not just...
Well, the point I make is because even with the furniture and everything else, if there's just you and her there, you're sort of okay, you've got someone to sit. If there's any more in the place, there's no one for anybody to sit.
Yeah, no, but... And sometimes it's in a couple, sometimes some people are very minimalistic, and the partner is very like they want to have like lots of stuff, so it can be like a struggle. So I think it's good to have like each person has its own space, and okay, I can have things in my own wardrobe, it's out of the way, but I think we need to respect each other, and so to find the right balance.
Well, years ago in this country, the bloke had his garden shed, didn't he?
Yeah, no, but...
Where he had all that stuff going on, but that doesn't happen so much these days, does it?
Yeah, but again, we are all different, and we will all react differently, and we will see things differently. We need to find the right level for everyone. But even for me, I can't tell my clients, what? You've got 50 bras? Okay, right, you don't need more than 20 or something. It's not my place.
You wash your bra.
No, but yes, exactly. If she doesn't want to...
Statistics are a woman wears a bra 10 times.
I can't, this is why I need to work with my clients side by side with them. I can't make the decision, because I can't say, oh, this dress, this is awful, this is like this is old style.
You come to me, how long do you spend sort of getting to know what's going on in my head before you start touching me?
In your head, it's going to be difficult, but we can have a conversation.
Don't go there.
Take a year and you'll still be going with me, but I mean, but you get my point. Presumably you've got to get with the psychosis of the people.
Yeah, but this is why everybody is different.
How do you do that?
It's just by talking to people and just to have discussion about what they do, what they love, how they live. And it's the same when we set up some storage solution. I need to talk to the person, because for the paperwork, for instance, some people said, oh, I like, for me, the hanging files, it doesn't work. Okay, we can maybe use binders. We can use, if you want, do you want to have it by alphabetical orders? Shall we use colors? If you have like the car insurance, will it be in the car category, or will it be with the insurance? It's just, I am not here to tell my clients, oh, you should do that, this is the best way to do it. No, we are all different, and we need to, I need to adapt on how people will process the information, and to adapt. And again, we are all different, and for some people it's going to work one way, and for someone else it's going to be different. So it just, yes,
Is there I'm trying to get sort of a time span, that's what I'm trying to get at. So I'm your client, you come to me. Is there sort of a time span how long you'll spend talking to me before you start looking at what to do?
No, we do that at the same time. So when we
do it as you're walking around?
Yeah, we would do, yes, we usually do a tour of the house. We explain what is the situation, what are the issues, what needs to be solved, and then we start decluttering, and we carry on with the conversation. So it's not like, it's like part of the system, and because it takes time to declutter, so we have time to get used to each other, and to have this discussion to make sure that it's going to be the best way. And because some people, they have a kitchen but they never cook, so again, I won't plan the things the same way for someone who only order foods online, and for someone who is going to cook every day. And so it just like, it's very personal, and so there's no, like when I said earlier, okay, I need maybe 5 hours or 6 hours to work on the kitchen, or a wardrobe is going to take, some people are going to take much, it's going to take much longer, because, oh, I remember this dress, this is the one I wore when I met my husband, and blah blah blah, and we carry on on the story about the dress. So there's no, some people are very quick in making decisions. Oh, this is donate. Okay, this is sell. This is keep, etc. But so it's always different.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it possible that people who sort of build up clutter or hoard have underlying psychological mental problems, and in that case then they need to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist.
Yeah.
Give me the number.
Because if the underlying problems still persist, they're going to go back to them 6 months' time.
Yeah.
And probably even worse.
And
Well, I stand during the break, you create space, and then you always tend to fill it up again, don't you?
Yeah.
No, I worked with 3 different clients, and we can categorize them like in the hoarding spectrum. So it was everything was very full, and even it was very dangerous to walk on the floor because it was covered with like everything, just like the kitchen was a disaster. It was everywhere. So, but these 3 clients, they all had like some depression issues. So I don't know what is, they were like acting like that, having many things around them, like to build this, maybe to be more secured in their environment with lots of stuff around them, or because of the or because I think it was more the depression which brings so much things in there. But they were all treated for their symptoms, seeing psychologists, psychiatrists, and so I come on the side. But but I don't work with these people anymore because I didn't feel well equipped to deal with these people, and I am someone, I need to see the results. I need to see where we are going to. I need to see we are making progress, and this is the way I work. I need to see, and it was impossible. So, but in the association, Abdo, we have like people who are really specialized in these typical issues, like with people working with people who have like hoarding disorders, and they are like specifically trained, etc. But yes, but it's I think very specific, and these people inside the association, they are doing great progress with these people. So, but for me it didn't work, and yeah, but all these people were like seeing like mental health specialists, but all of them, the 3 of them, I don't know, I don't want to say that it's always the case, but the 3 people who had like these issues of hoarding issues, they all had like they went through depression, and they were still in the bad situation on that side, on this medical side.
Did you mention the 3 types of clutterers, did you say?
No, 3 clients who like really had like this type of hoarding disorders.
I have come across a few, but I wouldn't have said I used to work in housing. I wouldn't have said they were depressed. It was just, I don't know, a condition.
Yeah. No. I don't say myself. They were like they told me that they were like having these difficulties. I did, because I can't judge. I can't see. So all of them told me, it's part of the process of a therapy as well, to move forward and to try to declutter. And but all the 3 persons told me that they have been like treated for deep depression, and they were still on medication and still on the process of. But they have been like one of them, like he was in his 80s. And he has been like that for like most of his life. So it was like an open conversation. I didn't think myself, these people are depressed.
In the housing association I worked for, we were told to spot people like that. And they had sort of people like yourselves or your association to come in and help them, because we were concerned that some people, the places were an absolute fire hazard.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they're not letting. I'm terrible, I know myself. I'm not in the sort of chronic stages, but I know I have too much clutter around the house.
Yeah.
You're talking about people who just never threw anything. I went in one girl's place, and the whole place was probably 2 foot deep in clothes, papers and magazines. You just couldn't move around.
No, this is the problem with this is like the danger as well, because this man, like he was more than 80 years old. I was always scared because I said he's going to fall somewhere, because it was like uneven everywhere. There was things everywhere, bags, and so it was the first hazard. And the fire brigade sometimes contact as well some people from the association and to help, because it's such a fire hazard just to have all these things around. And yes, and even the safety, and they can't. I saw that everything in the bathroom, they can't use the shower, they can't use the bath anymore, because all this is full of stuff. So yes, so this is like a very specific category for us as a professional organizers, and but at the association, I know that there are people. Some wrote books about this specific problem. So yes, we have really specialists on this field.
You find it goes through every age group?
Yes. I don't have sometimes say, oh, you've got your business. What are your type of clients? Anyone, young, old. Like yes, it's just like professional. Some people that with very high jobs, and at work they seem to be able to manage the workload and to be organized at their office, and at home they can't get to the point to be organized. So there's no particular type of client. I think anyone. I think I said myself, I have some spots of clutter as well, and tomorrow I said, okay, I need to address my office situation. And I have some clients said, oh, I am so ashamed. You see, you are going to think this is awful. I'm sure at your place it's spotless, super organized. I said, all right. I have a picture. My son, now he left home, but he's 26, and once I took a picture of his bedroom, the floor was covered with clothes, and it says, the floor wardrobe. So the floor was like used as a wardrobe, and but okay, this is all. We are all human beings, and I don't.
You could close the door on that, couldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. This is what I did. I closed the door. Exactly. This is what I took the pictures, and I sent it on the WhatsApp family group, and I said, okay, I just closed the door. This is not this is not my problem. And that's it, but just like we are like everybody else. And
but did you go foraging for things to wash?
Yeah.
See, there's the mother in you. So.
I don't do anything. I close the door, bye. No, but I think, yeah, it's just like, so we don't live like in magazine, because sometimes when you see the pictures in magazine said, oh, this is spotless. And you see the pictures of the bathroom, there's no storage, there's nothing, what? In the bathroom you need like to have your products, you need like some towels, you need some, so it's just for the magazines, but it's not the real life. And so again, you need to adjust and to find the right level of clutter you can accept in your life, and it works. The level of clutter I can accept, maybe for my neighbor or your friend, it's going, it's awful, but yes, you need to adjust. Yeah.
I can actually second that, because my nephew had his home featured on one of the TV programs, and when they came in, the TV company came in with a huge van, and they had plastic rolls of bread, with the knife next to it, and a bowl of fruit that looked superb, but without a polystyrene.
Yeah.
And bunches of flowers here and there.
Yeah. But this is not the reality. So yes, we need to make sure that this is a home where we live and where
So a little bit of clutter is that?
Yeah, that's fine. Just like, yeah.
I'd like to share something. I know there are people who put things in a box and they don't put things in a box like you described because they're not sure if they're out of sight, out of mind. So they would rather not do that and have it all over the place. There's an app called My Stuff. And so what happens is if you've got different boxes in different rooms, you've stored stuff in, you take pictures of them and it's all itemized on here. Yeah. I have done that for years. The only danger is you tend to keep them.
Yeah, because now they are.
That's the problem. You know it's there, you can see it every day, pictures all of them. So what happens? You get to keep them. So I guess the thing is not to keep them.
Well, what comes from that, there's a lot of people hire storage.
I think it's
Yeah.
maybe just to make an appointment with yourself and say, no, and just to say, okay,
to himself for years.
next Sunday I'm going to tackle maybe one or two of these boxes and just to see, okay, and then to go through this box and to say, okay, do I still need these things? But you need to make this up because this is so easy to have the app and you know that everything is categorized and it's labeled, you know that you are in control. If you need one of the items, it's going to be easy to find it. But what's the point of keeping all these things? So again, this is like this to make sure you have this appointment and just to say, okay, this next weekend I'm going to spend maybe 20 minutes or 2 hours or the time you want to spend on this, but make sure you start going through these boxes because it's like in the loft. We put things in the loft and they are
out of sight.
They are, yes, it's just like.
I tend to book to go to the recycle place, Barrowell Green. Once every, are they? Right, I have to find somewhere else. One afternoon every month.
Yeah.
And I just open the car, put stuff in it, and take it there.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that for the last 4 years. So I've got like half of what I would have had 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But are there times going forward you think, I wish I'd have thrown that away?
Well, yeah, you pick up something and you think, I might need this.
Yeah.
Then a few months later, you realize, oh, I could have made use of that box of screws. Now I'm looking for screws. I have to go and buy new screws.
Yeah, but it's always, it's the same, but it's very rare these things happens because usually when we don't use something, it's very rare we are going to think, oh, I throw away this box of screws, I need some screws. And sometimes you have to think, is it something I can maybe borrow from a friend, or it's, okay, it wasn't super expensive in that case, so I said, okay, maybe you gave the screws to a charity shop and someone used the screws and you bought new ones. It's not, this is not so, you can do, I'm sure this is something you can buy, but yes, you need to wait. So do I need to keep these forever just in case I'm going to use it one day and one day never come?
Maybe, yes.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, I have clients, they keep like projects of art projects and craft to say, oh, one day I will do that. So one day, okay, when you are super busy, you are looking after your grandchildren, you are traveling the world, say, okay, when are you going to, maybe just 1 or 2 crafts or projects, okay, but the rest.
But picking up on that point with the modern day digital economy and electronics, now we're getting a lot of, I don't know if you find out with your clients, they've got drawers full of old mobile phones now that are never thrown away. I think the last figure was about 10 billion phones in this country that are still existing in people's properties. And so it's my office.
Yeah.
With the predominance now of people working from home since lockdown, do you find that's now created a clutter situation because they've now got their office at home all the time?
Yeah.
That must be with the paperwork, which comes back to Hazel.
Yeah.
She was saying that that's the problem she has with her paper.
This is a big problem, but again, you have
technically emails are supposed to be paperless society.
But you need to be super organized on your laptop as well to make sure all your files, you can find everything on your computer and desktop. But yes, you have to keep these documents for tax purposes.
Yeah,
so
working from home must have increased that problem.
so yeah, so just like we have to keep these paper, we can't skip them and we can't trash them. So, but it needs, yes, working from home is again something very different, and we need
Have
to.
you found since lockdown that's getting a more predominant problem?
Yeah, because sometimes we need to make sure that the office at home, we need to reclaim. You need to reclaim your home at the end of the day. So you need to pack all your office stuff away. So there are solutions.
People haven't got a space they can use as an office.
Yeah.
Working in their bedroom. Or
exactly. So yes, we need to find solutions, but there are always like hybrid solutions, and to make sure. Depends on, but you can have like a trolley and then you put everything back on the trolley, you put the trolley somewhere else. It's just like there are always solutions to make sure you reclaim your space at the end of the day or at the weekend, because you can't leave all your stuff, office stuff in the place. So when you don't have a proper office space where you can close the door and say goodbye, see you tomorrow, we need to work out on how we can organize a space to work and a space to live in the same area. But there are solutions.